Have you ever thought about what you'd do if a heart attack struck and you were completely alone? It's a terrifying thought, and sadly, it happens more often than most people realize. We tend to believe we'll have time or that someone will be there to help. But the truth is, the first few minutes are the most critical, and what you do or don't do can mean the difference between survival and tragedy. Here's the good news. Even if you live alone or spend most of your time by yourself, you can survive a heart attack if you act fast and know exactly what to do. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 crucial steps you must take the moment a heart attack begins, and you're the only one around. These steps are simple, practical, and most importantly, life-saving. You don't need medical training. You don't need fancy equipment. You just need to be calm, prepared, and ready to act. We'll break it all down. How to recognize the first signs, what to take immediately, how to keep your heart from overworking, and even what small actions could give you just enough time to get the help you need. Stay with us until the very end, because the last few steps are the ones most people forget, and they just might be the ones that save your life. Don't wait until it's too late to learn what your body is trying to tell you. Let's get started. Number 1, recognizing the earliest warning signs. The first and most important step in surviving a heart attack alone is knowing what it feels like, not just in your chest, but throughout your entire body. Most people expect some dramatic, crushing pain like they see in the movies, but real heart attacks often begin with much subtler signs. And those early signals? They're dangerously easy to ignore. What you're looking for is a deep, uncomfortable pressure, a squeezing sensation in the center of your chest. It might feel like someone is sitting on you, or like your chest is slowly being filled with cement. Sometimes it comes and goes, making you think it's nothing serious. But if it lasts more than a few minutes or keeps returning, do not ignore it. Other warning signs include shortness of breath, even when you're just sitting still. You might feel like you've just climbed a flight of stairs even though you haven't moved. There could be pain in your arm, shoulder, neck, or jaw. You might feel lightheaded, break into a cold sweat, or feel nauseous and dizzy. And here's something crucial. For older adults, especially women, the pain might not be in the chest at all. It could feel like pressure in the back or stomach. Take Richard, age 74. He was sitting at his kitchen table when he noticed a strange tightness under his collarbone, almost like heartburn. But then he realized he couldn't take a full breath, and his hands started to sweat. He remembered reading that not all heart attacks come with chest pain, so he acted, and that decision likely saved his life. The body often whispers before it screams, and when it comes to heart attacks, those whispers are your only chance to act before the damage begins. So the next time something feels off, especially if it's a mix of pressure, breathlessness, or fatigue, stop everything. Don't brush it off. Don't assume it's just indigestion. Treat the signs seriously, even if they seem small, because your life may depend on it. Number 2, calling emergency services immediately. Once you suspect that a heart attack is starting, the very next thing you must do, without hesitation, is call 911. Do not wait to see if it passes. Do not try to drive yourself. And do not assume you're overreacting. Calling emergency services is not just the fastest way to get help. It's the only way to stay alive when every second matters. Here's the truth. A heart attack is not something you walk off. The longer your heart is starved of oxygen, the greater the damage. But when you call 911, help is already in motion. Trained professionals, life-saving equipment, and medication are all headed your way. And if your condition suddenly worsens, which it often does, you won't be able to help yourself. Trying to drive can be deadly. You could pass out behind the wheel, cause an accident, or delay your own care. Let the paramedics come to you. Think about what happened to Linda, age 78. She felt a strange ache in her shoulder, then a wave of nausea and cold sweat. She started to call her son, but then remembered something a nurse once told her. If you're alone and think it's your heart, call 911 first. Talk to your family later. That decision saved her life. By the time the ambulance arrived, her symptoms had worsened, but the team was ready, and they were able to stabilize her before it was too late. You don't have to be sure it's a heart attack to make that call. The dispatcher will not be upset if it turns out to be something else. They'd rather send help you didn't need than arrive too late. So keep your phone where you can easily reach it, especially if you live alone. If symptoms hit and you can't speak, use the emergency call feature. Most phones have one, even from the lock screen. Know where it is, learn how to use it, and don't hesitate to act, because the moment you feel something's wrong, your survival depends on that one call. Number 3, chewing an aspirin slowly and calmly. After you've called for help, the next most powerful action you can take is simple. Chew an aspirin, not swallow, chew, and do it slowly, even if your hands are shaking. If you have access to a standard 325 milligrams aspirin and you're not allergic or on a blood thinner, this one small step can dramatically increase your chances of surviving a heart attack. Here's why. Aspirin helps by thinning your blood. It works to slow or stop the growth of a blood clot that may be blocking one of your coronary arteries. That blockage is what causes a heart attack in the first place. By chewing instead of swallowing, the aspirin enters your bloodstream faster, sometimes buying you critical minutes before help arrives. It's best not to take aspirin on an empty stomach, but in this case, the danger of blood clotting is far greater. And if the only aspirin you have is coated or delayed, release. Chew it anyway. What matters now is getting the medicine into your system fast. Let's talk about Joe, age 72. One morning, he felt a tightness in his chest that spread toward his neck. He remembered he kept aspirin in the kitchen drawer. He sat down, chewed one calmly, and waited for help. Later, his cardiologist told him that single action likely limited the damage to his heart. That tiny pill may have saved his life. If you live alone, make sure aspirin is always within easy reach, on your nightstand, in your kitchen, or even in your wallet. Tell your loved ones where you store it. Check that it hasn't expired, because in those first few minutes, you won't have time to search. Chewing aspirin during a suspected heart attack isn't just advice. It's a globally recognized emergency response. And when your heart is crying out for help, that small act can be the lifeline that gets you through. Number 4, sitting or lying down to protect your heart. Once you've called 911 and chewed an aspirin, your next move is just as important. Stop moving. Sit or lie down immediately. This may sound simple, but it's often overlooked. Many people feel the urge to stay active, to walk around, to gather personal items, even to unlock the front door. But doing so can put your heart under dangerous strain. Your heart is already struggling. Every step, every movement, demands oxygen your heart can't spare. Ideally, you want to sit upright with your back supported, feet flat on the ground, arms resting gently. This position helps ease your heart's workload and stabilizes your breathing. If you feel faint, lie on your side with your head slightly raised, but the key is to stay still. Calm your body and give your heart a fighting chance. Let me share Alice's story. She was 81 when a heavy pressure spread across her chest. Her instinct was to clean up the kitchen first, but then she remembered what her doctor had said. If you suspect it's your heart, sit down, Now." She sank into her recliner and waited. Later, her doctor told her that decision may have prevented a full cardiac arrest. Doing nothing in this case is doing everything. So, if you ever feel those early signs, pressure, dizziness, shortness of breath, stop. Don't try to push through it. Don't try to be strong. Sit or lie down. Breathe slow. And let your body focus on the one thing that matters: survival. Number 5. Unlocking your door for emergency responders. If you still have enough strength after calling for help and sitting down, one of the smartest things you can do is unlock your front door. It may seem small, but when seconds count, a locked door can delay the help you desperately need. Paramedics are trained to break through if necessary, but forced entry costs precious time, damages your property, and can even startle or injure you if you're near the entry point. By unlocking the door ahead of time, you let the medical team come in and start treatment immediately. Consider Paul, age 76. He lived alone in a small condo. When his symptoms began, he called 911, chewed an aspirin, and walked just a few steps to unlock his front door. The paramedics told him that one action saved them nearly 30 seconds, and may have saved his life. If walking to the door feels unsafe, don't push yourself. Stay seated, breathe, and conserve your strength. But if you're steady enough and nearby, unlocking the door could be the difference between getting help in time or too late. And if you live alone, consider preparing ahead. Install a smart lock, use a medical lockbox with a spare key, or give access to a trusted neighbor. Preparation isn't paranoia, it's protection. Make it easy for help to reach you, because when the moment comes, those extra seconds could save your life. Number 6. Using your phone's speaker or medical ID features. When you're alone and facing a heart attack, your phone becomes more than a way to call for help. It becomes your lifeline. One of the most important things you can do in those moments is switch to speakerphone. Why? Because during a heart attack, even holding a phone to your ear can strain your breathing and increase your stress. Speakerphone lets you keep both hands free, stay calm, and conserve energy, while still staying connected to the emergency dispatcher. It also allows them to listen for signs in the background, like your breathing, movements, or changes in your voice, even if you're too weak to speak. But that's not the only tool on your phone that can save your life. Every smartphone today has an emergency medical ID feature. On iPhones, it's accessible from the lock screen. On Androids, it's often under emergency settings. This ID can show your age, medical conditions, medications, allergies, and emergency contacts, even if you're unconscious. Take Susan, age 79. She fainted before the ambulance arrived, but her phone's emergency info alerted the paramedics that she was diabetic and allergic to penicillin. That single detail changed how they treated her and avoided a dangerous mistake. Setting this up takes just 5 minutes, but it can save your life. So take the time now. Add your name, conditions, medications, and 2 emergency contacts. It's not just for tech-savvy people. It's for anyone who wants to be protected when they can't speak for themselves. If you ever feel those early signs coming on, put your phone on speaker, stay connected, and let the voice on the other end guide you. And if something happens before help arrives, your phone may still speak for you when you no longer can. Number 7. Slowing your breath to steady your heart. In the middle of a heart attack, panic comes fast. Your chest tightens. Your thoughts race. Your hands may shake. And every second feels louder than the last. But even then, you still have one powerful tool left: your breath. Controlled breathing won't stop the heart attack, but it can keep your body from spiraling into full-blown shock. Because when you panic, your heart beats faster, your oxygen drops, and your risk of arrhythmia spikes. But slow, steady breathing can help reverse that spiral, even just enough to buy the time you need to survive. It doesn't have to be complicated. Here's a simple pattern. Breathe in gently through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 1 or 2, then exhale softly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Then do it again. Focus on nothing but that rhythm. It anchors your mind and helps your nervous system calm down. Every breath helps ease your heart's burden and keeps oxygen flowing to where it's needed most. Take Frank, age 83. When the pain hit, he felt terror creeping in. But he remembered a simple exercise his doctor once taught him. He focused on each inhale, each exhale, and let the panic go. By the time the paramedics arrived, his heart was unstable, but not in cardiac arrest. "I just kept thinking," he later said. "Stay calm, stay alive." You can practice this anytime, when resting, when anxious, even while watching TV. The more familiar it becomes, the easier it will be to return to when the stakes are high. Your breath won't fix your arteries, but it can help keep your heart steady just long enough to survive until help arrives. It's free, it's always with you, and it may be the final edge between life and death. Final thoughts. When you're alone, you're not powerless. At the end of the day, surviving a heart attack alone isn't just about luck. It's about awareness, preparation, and calm, deliberate action. These 7 steps may seem simple on their own, but together they form a powerful chain that can save your life. Recognize the early signs. Call emergency services immediately. Chew an aspirin if you can. Sit or lie down to conserve strength. Unlock the door if possible. Use your phone's tools wisely, and control your breathing to steady your heart. Each one of these measures buys you precious minutes. Each one gives you a little more control in a moment that feels out of control. And each one reminds you that even when you're completely alone, you're not helpless. Heart attacks are frightening, especially in solitude. But now you have knowledge, you have a plan, and you have a better chance because you chose to learn today. So ask yourself, what stood out to you most? Was there a step you'd never thought of before? Something you'll now keep in mind? Or maybe even share with someone you love? That one conversation might save their life too. Thank you for being here with us. If this video helped you in any way, please let us know in the comments. Share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it. Your thoughts encourage us deeply, and if you found this video valuable, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Stay strong, stay prepared, and above all, take care of your heart. It's been taking care of you since the day you were born.